Good afternoon, Ms. Cruz. How are you doing today?
Hi, Mrs. Mendoza. I'm doing well. How are you?
I'm doing well, thank you, and thank you for coming in. Let's go ahead and take a look at Astro's score on the General Test of Achievement, which is the test he took back in March, and it tells us that up here in this demographic area up top. And so, what the demographic area up top is, it tells us the teacher, his school, the district, and his name, of course, and then also the date that he took it. And with that being said, I just want you to keep in mind that there are subjects and skills on this exam that kind of encompass the entire year. So he took it back in March, and things that we're learning now were on the test, and so he might have known those, might have not have known those. So that's just something to keep in mind as well as we go through these scores. And then it also has. So, do you have any questions about percentile?
I see here that he scored a 53. Does it mean that he needs to work on his reading?
Actually, no. It doesn't mean that. He's actually did very well. So we see here, like I said, that this is the median, and we have here the 50 percentile right here, and he's actually a little bit above the median. So he's in the average. This whole section right here is the average that he's doing, and this is the median. And so he's a little bit above, a little more in the higher end of the average for the national testing.
Okay, so what is percentile? Is it not a percentage? What is it then?
A percentile is more of like a ranking of where the students fall within his grade. We can go ahead and look at it like this. It's like when Astro was a baby, you took him to the doctor, and the doctor would rank him within the percentile for his height and weight compared to other kids or other children his age. So that's exactly what it's like.
Makes more sense. Thank you.
Okay, good. Let's talk a little more about percentile. Do you see here the percentile band?
Mm-hmm.
So what the percentile band is, it is a scaled down version of the bell curve sheet. As you can see here, it is less detailed, and the line that goes down the middle of the percentile band is the median. So that's this part right here. And right here is where Astro falls within that scale. So the band also takes into consideration the error. So we know that as the SEM, which is standard error of measurement, and it's give or take 3, so plus or minus 3. And the measurement or the error is more so like if there's an error on the test with the testing company, or if there's an error, if a student error. So like let's say if he came in not feeling well that day, or if something upset him, or if he's just frustrated or nervous about the exam, and that it takes all that into consideration. So he could be within, his range could fall within 56 to 50, or 50 to 56. But he is ranked at the 53rd percentile.
Okay, so you're saying that the 53 can be plus or minus 3. That gives room for error?
Yes, that's exactly what it is. But he could also go up, like I said, to 56 or down to 53. Either way, he's marked as being in the 53rd percentile. But where he falls within that band is still doing really well with his reading. And now we can take a look at the scaled scoring. It is going to be located here next to the national percentile. So it's this column right here. Let's take a look at Astro's listening scale score, which is a 565. So it's going to be right here. It's going to be 565. And we can get this number by getting the raw score and putting it into a formula, which is generated by the testing company. And this more so is for the company rather than our use. If you look here at the bell curve right here at the bottom, it says that he's 555, so this is between, or 565, I'm sorry. And he is a bit above the median again, so that's really good for him. So that means that he's doing well in listening.
So what is this bottom part here of the sheet?
We can actually get into that right now, and I just want you to know that we did just finish the norm referenced information, which is where we compared, like I said, Astro's scores to other students across the nation and how they did. And so what this bottom portion is right here is called the criterion referenced information. And what that is, it tells us how he did individually. So it breaks it down further into his skills. So we have the reading, vocabulary, word analysis, and it breaks it down into like structure analysis, phonemic analysis, vowels, and so on and so forth. And the same thing with the comprehension and the math concepts and things like that. And this column right here is the RS, it's known as raw score, and that's just the same thing that's up here, the number that he got correct. And then NP is number of possible answers or questions that he could have gotten correct. And then next to those, the low, medium, and the high. And what that is, if he scored low on a certain skill or medium or high. And then so that's what this whole portion is down here. So it's just his individualized score and how he did on the general test of achievement. If you want to go ahead and take a look at it and see if there's anything that you want to go over, if you want me to explain anything any further.
Okay. Can you go over the comprehension scores?
Okay. So under comprehension, we have the literal comprehension score, and we see that the raw score is 17 out of 20, and he is in the median range for that. He did pretty well in that part. Is there another question that you have?
Can you explain a little more on structural analysis?
Yeah. And so a structure analysis, we have right here, he got 10 out of 10, and the X is under the high level. And so he scored perfect in that skill, and he's doing well in that area.
So here in listening, in the vocabulary, so the high means he's doing well, correct?
Right. The high means that he scored well on that part of the test. We can also take a look at his work and see how he's doing in class. If you want to go ahead and take a look at numeration right here, which is under the math concepts, we can see that he scored 11 out of 17. Which is low, but it doesn't necessarily mean that he is not doing well. But if you take a look at his work, we can see that he's doing well with his numbers. So here, if you want to take a look at his work sample, he understands counting and the result of numbers when you add them together. In my professional opinion, I think Astro is doing well in that part in class. He's always asking questions when he doesn't understand something, and he makes sure that I know that he doesn't understand something, which I think is very mature of him to express those feelings and what he knows and what doesn't know. And I do want you to understand that we do have that margin of error, give or take 3. And so Astro could have been stressed, like I said, that day, or something of other concerns. So I don't want you to be too alarmed. That it does say that he has a low score, because according to his work, he's doing fine. So we can kind of compare those two. And so, is there any questions you have so far about what I've explained?
No, so far I understand. Thank you.
Okay. And I want to point out to you that he is doing great in his life science over here. He scored 7 out of 7. Which places him in the high. And again, I looked back at his life science portfolio, and he is doing great. He likes to talk about. Does he like to talk about anything life science at home, or?
Yeah, he loves to go outside and play with bugs and all that good stuff.
Oh, that's great. Yeah, and he brings roly polies to class, so he'll go out there and pick up. I can see that he does love science. It shows in my class, and that he is trying to learn. I'm very happy to see him grow. So what I want to do now is go over a few things on how you can help him at home and how I can help him here at school. With his weaknesses. I don't want you or him to get discouraged from the scores that you see here on the test. This is something that we can always work on. We can always use his strengths to help his weaknesses. Maybe we can spend more time, with the math and show that, use bugs to help him with math and like multiplication and things like that, and dividing, you can divide bugs, things like that. You can give him you can have him work on homework before bed, and kind of just go over things with him, and so I will also be here at school, and I will have different ways of giving him instruction and on how he can work on his number skills with so this is something that we can tackle together. Do you have any questions?
No, I don't. Thank you.
Okay, so here is some information for you. This can help you better understand the test scores and what each part of the sections are again. If you want to go over it at home, please, if you have any other questions, feel free to email me or text me and call me. I'll be here, and I'm always here for you if you need anything. So thank you so much for coming, and have a good night.
You as well.